The number of petals in each row is the sum of the preceding two rows, the Fibonacci sequence. It's found in the structure of crystals and the spiral of galaxies.
Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn, and today I have something a little bit different for you guys because we had a Patreon submission over on the Capricorn Patreon from none other than 𝐼𝐿𝐼𝐿, aka 𝐿𝐼𝐿𝐼𝐿, aka Sparked Foozi. He's gone by so many names, and if you've ever watched my Twitch streams, you probably know him over there. But he did sign up at the Patreon tier to have a deck tech every month, and this is this month's deck tech that he came up with, and it's honestly pretty interesting. This deck is called Eluter, and we are trying to use 𝔼𝐿𝐼𝐿 and some other interesting prowess cards to do a prowess deck, but it's a very different prowess decks than the 𝑖𝑠𝑖𝑡 decks that you see everywhere right now. We're not using Corey Steelcutter. We've got a pivot where he's trying to anticipate the way the meta is going to be after some aggro bans and after rotation. He's trying to make this deck rotation proof. He's trying to kind of do a lot all in one deck, and I think it's pretty interesting, and it's definitely worth a look. So shout out to Foozi for turning this in as a submission. If you guys want to submit a deck, we will take submissions over on the Patreon channel if you sign up at the right tier. But bear in mind, we are in the middle of retooling the Patreon and relaunching it. We're going to do some more things over there, some more interesting things. So if you pop on over to the Patreon and it looks a little bit out of date, that's why. That being said, if you do sign up for one of the tiers over there, you're going to get everything in that tier, and then when the changes are implemented, you'll also just for free be upgraded to all of the new stuff that's coming in as well. So if you're interested in me doing one of your decks every month, definitely check out the Patreon. Thanks to Foozi for submitting this. Make sure to like the video before we head on in, because every single like does help the channel grow. It helps the video get out to more people, and I appreciate it a ton. Subscribe if you're new, because there's more on the way, and catch me live Monday through Friday over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/QuarantineCapricorn, because if I'm alive and I'm breathing, I'm there and I'm streaming. This video has been brought to you by Wonders of the First, but I'll tell you about that later. Let's check out the deck. So this deck was submitted by Foozi, 𝐼𝐿𝐼𝐿, aka Sparked Foozi, aka Fuzinachi. He changes his name more times than Prince. I don't know what to tell you guys. But the deck is an interesting take. So it's sort of a prowess deck at its core, but it's trying to pivot and take into account the way the meta is going to look after rotation. It's using only rotation-proof cards, and it's supposed to sort of be good at beating the other aggro decks, but at the same time beating the eventual meta that forms to beat the aggro decks, which I don't know if he's thinking too far ahead or just enough, but it's kind of an interesting take. So at the core of the deck here, we have 𝔼𝐿𝐼𝐿 at 2, a 1/3 human wizard with vigilance and prowess, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you put that many incubation counters on it, and then at any time you can remove 3 incubation counters, add instant speed to just make a 2/2 flyer. Doesn't come in tapped or anything, so sometimes you can surprise your opponent by creating a nice blocker out of nowhere, and a lot of times you can just create a ton of value with this card if you line things up just right, especially because of the prowess. What we're comboing with that, Foozi has chosen to include Behind the Mass, an instant for 1 blue. You can collect evidence 6, and if you do, the thing you target just becomes a base power and toughness 1/1, so it can sort of pivot and be used as some sort of weird removal. But the main use of it in this deck is it just turns a creature into base power and toughness 4/3 for just that 1 mana. It'll also still get a prowess trigger. So if you use it on a 𝔼𝐿𝐼𝐿, gets the prowess trigger, becomes a 4/3, turns into a 5/4, and then can hit for 5 damage, which is almost enough to just make 2 2/2 flying drakes right away. So if you have any other 1 mana spell that you can play in conjunction with the Behind the Mask, just to get you 1 more prowess trigger, you can actually just make 2 2/2 flyers off 1 hit, spending only 2 mana because of the 𝔼𝐿𝐼𝐿, which can be kind of nuts. So we do have a bunch of 1 mana spells to play in order to do that. Things like Opt, we have 4 copies to dig, draw cards, and keep the chain going. Sleight of Hand, sorry, does the same exact thing. Looking at the top 2 cards, putting one into our hand, and the other on the bottom of our deck, triggering the Prowess. And then we also have 2 copies of Enter the Enigma. This can also draw us a card and trigger Prowess for just 1 mana, but sometimes it can get us in for lethal if we target a thing that we can then make unblockable with this, and maybe it's a really big 𝔼𝐿𝐴𝐻 or another creature that's really big from Prowess triggers or behind the mask. Either way, we get to draw our card, trigger our Prowess, keep the chain going, and potentially get some unblockability. We've also got a bunch of backup plan creatures in order to make sure we're supporting the Prowess sort of archetype here. So we've got 3 copies of Elusive Otter, which can come down on 1. Not only does it have Prowess, but creatures with power less than it can't block it, which is nice. And then since we are splashing green here, you can play the Adventure first if you want to, which is only really useful if you're top decking it super late in the game. But you can get some extra value, get a bunch of counters, get another Prowess trigger, and then still play the Otter. We've also got 4 copies of Stormchaser's Talent, absolute must-have in a deck like this. Gonna give you that Prowess Otter on 1, but level 2 and level 3 are actually somewhat reasonable here as well. Get back a cheap card draw spell that triggers Prowess, or maybe get back a Behind the Mask, and then potentially, if the game gets really grindy, you know, go to level 3, play all your card draw spells, get a bunch of Otters. And then we also have 3 copies of Mockingbird, because making a flying version of 𝔼𝐿𝐴𝐻 can be pretty good. I can also just copy a Drake that we make for just 1, so it's just like a 1 mana 2/2 flyer sometimes. We can also just make flying versions of the Otters, which can also be kind of cool. So, very versatile card, Mockingbird. I kind of love it. It's also useful just copying our opponent's stuff if we're in a pinch. And then moving on to the 2-drop slot, we've got 3 copies of This Town Ain't Big Enough. Obviously good for returning our Stormchaser's Talent and replaying it while also messing with our opponent's tempo, but we can also return an early Mockingbird to recast it as something better later on, which is kind of cool as well. And then we've got Repulsive Mutation. This is the other card we're splashing green for, and you pay X, put X counters on a creature, and then counter a spell unless they pay mana equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. It's worth pointing out you only have to pay 2 mana, and they still have to counter their spell unless they pay mana equal to the highest power. So even just using this to trigger a Prowess creature, get your power up to 3 or maybe even 4, even if you didn't put any mana into the X, you can still counter that spell and get your Prowess triggers, which can be really good. But also later in the game, if we're kind of out of gas, we can sink all of our extra mana into this and get a bunch of counters, which is really, really nice. Also got 3 Stock Up. It's just the best card draw / card selection card in the game right now. 3 mana finds us the best 2 cards we need from the top 5, so it does give us actual card advantage. We're trading, you know, 2 cards for 1 here, but card selection is what makes this so good. And then the last card here is 3 copies of Marang River Regent, because when the game starts to go a little bit longer, we can use that coil and catch, draw a bunch of cards, still trigger our Prowess triggers. But also, if it goes even longer, we can always just play the Marang River Regent itself later for 6 mana. Sometimes we can bounce their stuff to get ahead on tempo. Sometimes we're just bouncing our stuff so that we can reuse it, like the Stormchaser's Talent. So a lot of versatility here. Mana base looks like 1 Fountain Port for a little bit of extra spice, 3 Starting Towns to just kind of glue together the extra splash of green, 4 Willowrush Verges, along with 2 Fabled Passages, 4 Botanical Sanctums, and then we've got a couple basics in each color, and then 3 copies of Ghidorah Aristocratic Capital, which seemed kind of weird to me at first, but I think if he's trying to play 4D chess and plan for the meta that exists in order to combat the aggro meta, maybe if you're up against control, being able to mill them out with this, you know, incidental sort of adventure on this land might not be the worst thing ever. So it was definitely worth a try, but this entire deck was Foozi's idea. It's his original brew. I didn't alter it at all. We ran it in a bunch of games on the ranked ladders, so let's see how it did. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Wonders of the First. Wonders of the First is a brand new collectible card game similar to games like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, featuring a unique action-based resource economy that helps avoid pitfalls like Mana Flood or Mana Screw, and a battlefield containing multiple realms that unlock over time as you fight for control of the stones. The first 400 card set is called Existence, and they've even partnered with Star City Games to host their competitive play tour at every single 𝑠CG-Con event starting in August. The game contains alternate borderless art variants, as well as highly sought after limited edition numbered prints, culminating in a one-of-one stone foil. And the best part is that the developers have a community-first approach with a card database and deck builder available via Cardio, as well as a version of the game available on Tabletop Simulator, all for free. For more information, be sure to check out wondersccg.com today. That's wondersccg.com. This hand is bad. It's just bad. We have no early creatures to get out to take advantage of all these spells, and both of our lands are tapped. We're gonna mulligan. This is much better. Since we have lots of card draw, we're gonna keep all that. We're actually gonna put back the Fabled Passage, because we can probably draw into more lands. Start with the Sanctum, play the Sleight of Hand. We'll grab the land. We want to make sure we can hit that stock up on 3. Trade Catcher is very good. 𝐽𝐵𝐿𝐼𝐋. What does he hit? Probably the stock up. He might just choose to hit the opt. Oh. Oh. Next to blockers. Oh, no blockers, you say? Sweet. End the turn. You got for me, because I got 2 little Drakey boys.
Enough with the mysteries. I've come for answers.
Sack the Drake.
Off you go.
Let's make another one. Let's make another one. Enter the Enigma. I'm really tempted. Do it like this. Means I don't get to 3, which is kind of a bummer, but we'll make it work. We will make it work. Kitten, are you up to no good? I believe the kitten is up to no good. Hello. Scoozy. Scoozy.
Yeah. It's eating chips.
Let's just counter the Scoozy. Stock up. We will find an Opt and a Verge. We will play the Verge. We will attack. What you wanna do? What you wanna do, friend? Come on. Come on, Ghost. Show me your ambition. Show me your ambition. Oh, he left. You're so cool. You're so cool, Ghost. Ruining my content because your butt hurt. Whatever. Look at that ambition. Look at that ambition in action. You're so ambitious, JP Ghost 23. Way more ambitious than the first 22 JP Ghosts. You are the pinnacle of ambition, my friend. Look at that deep cavern bat. Look at it just sitting there. So brave, so bold. Can't believe bro's doing this to me. What a tool. What a tool, man. Opt. Get rid of that. Another starting town. Oof. End the turn. Make a mistake and swing with the bat. I'd love to block it with a Drake. Do it! Do it, old maid. Do it, old maid. Dude, this has got to be the worst JP Ghost yet. The other 22 JP Ghosts, never this bad. But 23? What a tool. What a tool. It's my turn. Get out of here, loser. Get out of here. There goes your ambition. Now you are just a ghost. I think we're gonna keep this. It's not the greatest opening hand because of that Fabled Passage, but I think we make it work. I think we probably Sanctum on one, play the Storm Chaser's talent, and if we get lucky and draw an untapped land, we just play 𝐼𝐿𝐴𝐻𝑒𝑟, but if not, we use Sleight of Hand to find an untapped land, maybe? Good luck, Ninja. I'll be rooting for you. Ray, make sure you read the pinned comment so that you know what today's queue is actually for. Because you might be thinking it's community night. That is not till tomorrow. But tomorrow the gloves are off. Tomorrow's going to be a long night of you guys whooping my ass. Let's see if we can find a land, shall we? A colorless land? Bro, what's with all the trolling? We're still gonna take it, and then we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna attack. So next turn we can use the Fountain Port to pay the colorless on the 𝔼𝐽𝐻𝐿, and then still have a blue left over to play Storm Chaser's Talent, proc the Otter, and swing. End the turn. I think my camera froze. Hold on a second, guys. My camera's not cool enough. There we go. Aw, now it's all reset though. Alright, that should do it. Alright, Authority of the Consuls. Beloved Alchemy, you shut your whore mouth. You shut your whore mouth!
On the ladder.
We don't speak of games that don't exist around here. Okay? You bring it up. That's right, it's my turn. Don't you forget it. It's my turn. My turn of the high turn. This is a really weird prowess deck. Yeah, you gain that life. You take that damage. Do it. Do it, old maid. Get that chump blocker out of there. Do it. Just do it. 𝑃𝑟𝑜𝑤𝑒𝑠𝑠. You're gonna be very upset very soon. Ooh, another 𝔼𝐽𝐻𝐿. How greedy do I want to be, guys? I think I want to be really greedy. All sorts of greed abound. Alright, we can get rid of the 𝔼𝑚𝑒 Forge after it gets a couple counters on it. Demolition Field? Well, now you're just helping me, bro. Is this dude for real? They need double white. Yeah, you're not wrong.
That means you need to swing in.
Sweepers. Endless sweepers. Get out of here. Oh, I can't starting town. I'll swing for 16.
No.
Alright, I can make 3 drakes, but he's probably just gonna sweep. So I don't know. I don't know if I make 3 drakes. Enduring Innocence? What? What? Who are you? Where's the sweeper? Where's the sweeper, man? What do you mean Enduring Innocence? You out of your mind? This dude's out of his mind. You know what would be sick with 𝔼𝐽𝐾𝐄𝐑, and I didn't even think about it until right now?
What's that? Trample.
𝔼𝐽𝐾𝐄𝐑. Get out of here. Because
yeah,
after the prowess triggers go away, it's got low power again, and you can double all of the Drake triggers. You make double Drakes. That was pretty easy. Alright, I'm going to keep this. And we're going to start with, I guess we're going to start with a Willowrush Verge and play a Storm Chaser's talent. But I agree with you, Foozi. Playing a game with actual paper cards is way more refreshing and enjoyable than it tends to be online these days. We'll go Willowrush Verge. And we'll do Enter the Enigma. And then I guess we'll go Mockingbird. And swing 2. Swingin', swingin', swingin'. Nowhere to run. How rude. Sleight of Hand. Grab a land. Play a land. 𝔼𝐽𝐾𝐳𝐚.
That's one of the first times I've seen them do the correct nowhere to run. They usually get rid of the token.
𝐿𝐴𝐼𝐋𝐄𝐑. Glorious. Get out of here. We're gonna slow you down so hard. Boy! Boy, gee, howdy. Alright, we're gonna find an island. Not to be confused with a U land.
Strange enough, it is a U land.
Alright, we're gonna Grove's Bounty for 1. Play the Elusive Otter. Swing for 4. We have enough mana to level 2 and cast a 1 mana spell that we get back. Or we can just hold up Repulsive Mutation. Well, that's sad. Don't piss this guy off so much. Bounce your cornucopia again. Way to be the slowest. Could swing for 9 if I threw away the mutation. We're not gonna, though. And the turn. Man, Storm Chaser's talent is a hell of a drug. Hell of a drug. 𝑃𝑟𝑜𝑤𝑒𝑠𝑠. Renin Realmbreaker. We'll let you have it. Could have countered it. Kinda want to save it for triggering Prowess, though.
It is awesome in that way.
My turn. My turn on the high turn. Let's see. We have 6 mana. Let's do this. Put it back into my hand. Oh, I can't target the swamp. That's unfortunate. I did not expect that. He's gonna go to 1. He's gonna do it. Ballsy. Cover up is certainly deadly. We'll hold up Repulsive Mutation behind the mask. And we will ride it to victory. The 𝐾𝐫𝐞𝐧𝐚. Do it. Streets of Philadelphia. You're gonna be very unhappy, sir. Very unhappy. Very unhappy. Alright, this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. We're gonna try and keep it. Start with a Storm Chaser's talent. Probably just play Jador next turn. Sleight of Hand. Sure. Sanctum. Pop. Bottom the land. Dude, it just happens every game. It's so crazy. It doesn't... There's no way this is coincidental. There's no way. There is no fucking way. Arena is so rigged. It's crazy. Every game feels bad. It's just nuts. It's so nuts. It's so crazy. Like, there's no way it's not. There's no way it's not rigged. It's absolutely crazy. Oh, this is great. This is so cool. What a cool game. What a cool game that I decided to spend my life playing. I feel like I made such a good decision. A hole twice, Finn? You flooded a hole twice? That's amazing. Oh, this is great. This is just comical. This is just wonderful. Let's see. Find the mask. Don't really want to give him back the bats, do I? I mean, maybe I do, because I'm just gonna use them all. Yeah, that was a mistake. I had nothing left to bounce. I didn't have enough mana to play the talent and this town, so I shouldn't have actually hit the thing with this town. I should have probably hit Ellis and paid the ward to get back the 𝐽𝐽𝐞𝐳. We'll let him do the thing. We'll let him do the thing, it's fine. It's fine. We're crashing out. It's fine. It's so fine. I'm gonna keep 7. Yeah, but Finn, it doesn't really matter if it's really happening or not, because if it feels like it's happening, it's the same thing. It's the exact same outcome. So, if they're not doing it, they're doing a real bad job of making it feel that way. They should be ashamed of themselves either way. Alright, we're going to start with 𝐽𝐽𝐞𝐳. Let's go! Imagine if Arena wasn't manipulating people and taking advantage of them, and they were just feeling this bad all the time, coincidentally. Like, how bad do you have to be at programming Arena to, like, accidentally make everybody hate you? It's wild. It's just wild. Let's start with a Storm Chaser's talent. Let's attack. Let's, behind the mask. I think he's got burn removal. I also think he might be using my deck. I haven't seen anybody else come up with this idea. The Boros burn with grab the prize. He's gonna have to use 2 removal spells here. Which honestly feels kind of good. I'm fine with that. Send the turn. Grab the prize. Dumped a lightning strike. Alright, we will find a blue to turn on the Willowrush Verge. And he will Boros charm me. That's fine. He's gonna win because this deck is sick. We're gonna start with an opt. We're gonna play another opt. And we will swing 3. Got a decent chance at having lethal next turn, I think. But he might have lethal this turn. Not enough. Too many lands, I think. Alright, we're going to start with stock up. We need to find a land and a 1-drop. Verge. And I guess Storm Chaser's Talent. This land is my land. This should do 15. Put him at 3, and then we could have lethal next turn. Although if that's the case, we probably should have just played the Storm Chaser's Talent and kept this card for next turn. Probably. Think we maybe can still win. Because we go Storm Chaser's Talent, Prowess, and then we go bring back Behind the Mask, swing, so we hit for 9, so that's 2. Does he have enough burn to put us away? He does not. He does not. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.